So you have the melody for measure 9, having relinquished it to the seconds in measure 5. So everybody, measure 1 to 12, bass baritone, and and then going on basses.
Steve, could
Yeah, you want
I
to
cut?
talk
Yeah,
about how you close to the M on this, and
exactly. So we are imitating a bandura at this point. So bandura, it's a traditional Ukrainian instrument. The tenor of the treble sounds like a zither. The bass sounds like a pedal harp. So that's kind of the sound you should make. So gum, gum. You should close. Actually, all of these syllables you should close to the M and the N as you go through it. And the tenors will have more of a metallic sound, and the basses on the gum have a richer sound. Make sense, Steve?
yes, in fact, we could consider it's a made-up syllable, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah. So we
It,
might even voice the K a little bit more towards the G.
mm,
Goom, goom. We'll see how that is in person, but definitely not too much vowel, right? Almost right to the end.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
And then the soloist sails on top of this all and is has this lovely solo that this we're accompanying.
yeah, yeah. So the baritone second first will be prin, 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 cum, cum, prin, prin, cum, prin, prin. So that, as Lewis said, that tinier closing with less of the washtub bass, resonant pizzicato sounding. So if you guys are stay muted or mute, the bass only, and I'll go from here to measure 20. Basses is now it's arco bass part, nice tritone. And we'll go to downbeat of 21 just to get the harmony. So baritone and let's do baritone and seconds and first all together. I think you can dig out the harmony parts. So 13, 1, 2, 3. So from measure 17, the top last measure at the top there, baritones. You have and redo the ooh a little bit. So in 19, you need a little accent on the syncope of that ooh, and then you can generously do that little crescendo into the new harmony. And the diminuendo, we'll see. It may actually need to go the other way. We'll see. That's going to be an interpretive thing. Main thing is to feel the dolce in 21. And then second tenors at measure 17, ultimate last measure top of 190 is 4, 5, 6. So, taken together, baritone in seconds, last measure top. And with the firsts, and that's the same cadence as we had on the other page, and with my same.
Steve, quick interruption.
Yeah.
I understand from the chat that some people cannot hear Steve's keyboard. I can hear it just fine, so I assume that it is in the. It's being recorded just fine.
I hear it fine.
I'll boost the level a little bit. Okay.
And while we're stopping at measure 20, you think I should take out those hairpins?
Well, I like the first one. I like the one up.
But the second one is well, I'll fiddle with that and see what makes sense.
Okay.
I have a question for Steve.
Yes. Yes.
Dushu BV the BV is that B natural or B flat for the seconds?
That's B natural, as we already did in our hasty overview.
Got it. So that's
natural.
Changed.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a change.
And it feels correct, right, to do that. Right?
Yeah.
yeah. So in the Grossi score, none of those naturals are in there, but in this version we'll get them in.
Yeah.
Okay. Just confirming. Thanks.
That's musica ficta, as the musicologists say.
Right.
Yeah. So sorry about the mistakes, but at 21, since we were going on, it's slowly I can do it. Goes like that. Mm-hmm. And that's essentially the harmony of the piece. And then you have some different voicings coming up. Let's go from the beginning this far, and then maybe I'll just keep reading. Or we can, let's go from the beginning this far. And I've learned it a little better now too, so I may actually make fewer mistakes. Are there questions? Any part question between on the first 24 measures, first 2 pages? Don't be shy. Unmute yourself, because I think I can see most hands. Okay, looks like no. Here we go, bass, baritone.
And just one more comment. So in case it's not clear, this is a love song. Partly a love song with the bandura, and partly a love song with this dark-eyed maiden that we're going to be talking about. So it's important that the basses, for example, don't sound kind of angry and thuddy at the beginning. There's really singing in a cantabile fashion, as it's marked here.
And as with Kalinka, when we get to measure 13, we're accompanying, and as long as you're in the harmony, if you have the color and the character, it doesn't matter if you're off by a chord tone, if you're on the root instead of the third, or the third instead of the fifth, as long as you're in the feeling of the piece. I mean, obviously, try to find one of the notes that Lewis has thoughtfully put in here. But here we go. Everybody muted. 1 and 2 and. Okay, so just a little bit new to learn. So,
who's baritones? Who's wants to take the top part in the split?
last four measures, right?
Just the last four measures. When you
I was planning to switch more to baritone than second tenor anyway. On
all right, excellent. That is good. I'll make sure that that's well covered. And Joe Finetti, you're not here, but if you could cover the high baritone part too, that would be good.
So we can do the last four measures since it's a different coda. So it rhymes coming out of 20 into 21 is like 43 into 44. So for the basses, and if we want the volume basses, you could take bon in the penultimate measure. You could stay up on the F if we want the power. And then, so the high baritone, Cerestu banduru, banduru, above the second tenors and some kind of nice head voice. And the rest of the baritones would have this, well, no, you wouldn't have the same part. You would start off on the F as the same. Res, do, banduru, res, do. Sorry, banduri, stom, stav. And you would touch the G, not oversing, so we get a lot of bass. And we'll balance it in person, of course. And then second tenors, you've sung ooh, instead of going to the A flat, you go back there. A little melodic. It feels sort of cadential, final. And our first tenors, maybe falsettists, have finished in 43. We actually need measure 25, the page 191. So I think we can do bass and baritone together. You're so separated. And now this is a melodic low bandura part. So I'll do both of these. If you need them broken out, we can do it. So it's just these 8 measures, I think, that are brand new. Here we go. And then you've got 8 measures the same, or is it 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 measures the same as the B
right.
section. B section before. So tenors. Let's do second tenors. So I'll do some bass and baritone with the seconds. Bass and baritones, just so you can keep going, but mostly for seconds at 25. Here we go. A flat is correct in 35. Die minye, tvoya.
Okay.
Because of the harmony. When it's a shorter ascent, the A natural that we fixed earlier is correct in the baritone thing, but here it's correct.
Like a nice oriental minor effect there.
Yeah, here it's a harmonic. There's a harmonic reason for it as opposed to a melodic reason. Good. And first, I think you'll be able to get it if we do everybody now at 25. Here we go. And then all we need is measure 44. It's the same, but we should get the transition from 43 to 44. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you 41, and then stop on the downbeat of 44. Notice the top line is a tenor solo. So bass, baritone, second, first, 41, last measure, top of the last page, and here, and... Stop here. Start there and go on. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, gorgeous.
Absolutely gorgeous. Steve, so I checked. Dennis agrees with you. The last chord should have a G in it. So do you want the baritones the top baritones to stay up at the G like you?
No. The low baritone should stay on their G.
Okay.
Yeah. No. The top baritone voice leading has to come down to the third.
Okay. Of course.
Yeah.
Okay.
The low baritone stays because then you've got the openness.
That's it. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, because that's the strummed strings. Yeah.
Question about pronunciation.
Go ahead, David.
I'm used to it in the Ukrainian. You have the I and the E.
Yes.
How is that notated in this transliteration?
In the transliteration where you see an I with 2 dots over it, that is an I. So, for example, the penultimate word, banduristom. Okay?
Yep. Thank you.
And at the beginning, Vzyav be ya banduru. Okay?
And so the I with the single dot is E.
An E, yes. And there is no sound in Ukrainian. It's I instead.
Thank you.
So Ray has a lot to tell us about Lila. So I think if it's okay, let's
move on to Lila. That's right.
Yeah, let's do that. Louis, thank you. This is fantastic to have.
It's getting there. I'll shoot out another version soon and let you know when it's ready.
And is Fiona on this call?
Yes, she's
Fiona.
Terrific.
I'm here.
Fiona, I have never heard. I can't remember. Did I stand next to you in Woolsey Hall for anything? Ever?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know the real us.
Would you? Is this over your break in the tenor range? This song, is this something you could sing the solo on?
Potentially.
Yeah. So you should learn this. Ray should learn this. I mean, I'm kind of broken down at this point, but it's so gorgeous. I might try to get it in shape. I don't know who else. John, Bert, maybe. Anyway.
It's right at the outer end of my range. I don't want to try. I don't want to test.
We've got to make sure that we have somebody who can sing the solo, because we can strum our banduras all evening long. But anyway, just a thought.
And whoever sings the solo, remember, you're making love to this beautiful woman. And it really needs to come across like that.
Yeah.
Right, we're not marching to the Volga here.
Yeah.
You got it.
So us senior citizens, we may have to remember to bring our medication. Okay, enough said.
Lila.
So I just a couple hours ago sent out the latest Lila, and I have, John, Mark, I have begun dating the editions of when I taught at Tanglewood. They used to post for the music center. They would post the final schedule of rehearsals, and they would number the final schedule. And one week they numbered up to like 19. Final schedule number 19. Anyway, Ray, you want to introduce this, or how shall we begin?
Sure.
Do you want
Yeah.
do you want me to put it up on the screen, or do you want to do it, Ray?
I think so.
Yeah, put it up. Put it up.
Okay, hang on.
Maybe I should. You're right. Maybe I should. Then I can.
Then it's in your control. So let me give you the control,
Okay.
and over to you.
It's 2 pages, so I just lay them out side by side for myself. But I know we'll go page by page on the screen share.
Here we go. Okay. Does everybody see that?
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not yet. What happened there?
I only marked the solo part of choir 2 in measure 13, and I didn't want to clutter it up too much till you explain it.
Yeah, that's fine. So, sorry, Louis, you better share it. I'm having trouble doing it.
Okay, I am about to share it. See if I still have it up. Can you all see it?
Yes. Okay. So this is a Svan tune. The first 2 measures is a short solo, and then tutti comes in at measure 3. For now, what I'll do is let's work through the 3 parts, starting from the beginning and going through to the first measure, the first beat of measure 14. So that's sort of verse 1, just to the first measure of 14. So, Steve, can you give us an E there? So this is scribed this way with those note values, but it's written but it could be lots of different possibilities there. But anyway, so let's do the let's do the bass first. So the bass, which I will refer to as the bani, B-A-N-I. So that's the bottom voice in Georgian music generally. And the music here is really not very hard, I think you'll see. But anyway, let's just go ahead. So it's whoa. So if you'll sing along the bass part, and everybody should know the bass. So please, everybody sing along with the bass part, unless you really can't do it. So that's it. That's the end of the first verse. So then the middle voice, basses should, anybody who's going to sing bass should keep singing the bass part along with this. Okay, so it's going to be for choir 1. It's going to be a unison B natural there. Okay, is that still an E? Whoa! So now the top voice. So middle voice. If you're going to sing the middle voice, the bass still sing the bass part. Walileo yisgwami didabi wo rigwaya shileda wadi wo lile wo. Okay, so that's choir 1. That's verse 1.
Ray, do you have original sound on?
Do I? No, maybe I don't.
Because you're being noise canceled, and so you might check that.
Okay. And I don't see where to do that. Oh, audio settings. No? Yeah, I don't see where to do it.
Well,
I'm on a Windows machine.
all right, we can go over it later.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, my apologies.
Under audio settings, just by the way.
Yeah, well, I looked under audio settings and I didn't see original.
Okay.
Sometimes it's just up at the top of the screen, up top left or top right.
Top right.
I should turn off maybe?
Turn
Is
off.
that better? Well, we'll see. All right, I just did something there.
If I keep my microphone open, is that messing people up?
I don't think so, because then I mean I'm hearing your keyboard, which is good. It's okay.
Okay, I want to keep it open to check on the keyboard, but then I don't want people to hear you twice.
Right.
Okay,
right.
let's see. Let me know, because I can mute in between.
Yeah. Okay. So just does anybody have any questions on just what we've done up until measure 14?
Ray, just so I'm super clear, it's le, right?
Oh, sorry. Yes, my mistake. I should have said this. So it's lile.
Lila. Okay.
So the I is always E. There's no, we really don't see the short I. So it's li, and the E is always eh. It's not a, so it's not lile. It's lile.
Okay. Thank you.
So, it just quickly to go through the word. So yisgwa, and the A is generally ah. So yisgwa mi di da bi wo, and the O is like there's no diphthong. It's o, not o. So yisgwa mi di da bi wo. Ril gwa ya shile da wo di wo li le wo. And then actually we'll go ahead and do the following lyrics. So starting
Question.
at 14.
And
Question
guys,
13.
Guys, one thing I didn't notate very well because I didn't understand it is at measure 14, the voices from measure 13, which is in the middle voice, the stems down, you all go to the B natural on wo, and you finish there.
Right.
And then
Yes.
a separate choir, a second antiphonal choir comes in new.
Yeah.
So the people who finish on the B do not continue with the lyrics.
What is the ye that's the end of measure 13 there?
That's the new that's choir 2.
Okay.
That's the calling for the second choir.
The new choir coming in. Got it.
Right. Okay. So then actually in 14, you see that there are 2 B naturals. And so the second of the B naturals should be deleted, right? Because the choir 1 only comes in and sings whoa, and then they're out. So the second B natural for the tops, the second B natural for the middles. Of course, the second B natural for the basses does stay, but choir 1 doesn't sing it.
Maybe I'm naive or confused here. Are we really
Um,
splitting into 2 choirs? Are we going to have?
We will, but
Okay.
not we haven't yet.
Okay.
We haven't yet.
So that'll be in the final version 2.0.
Right. Okay, so I mean, I'll just speak through the lyrics for the second and third verses. So it's wo di. So this is starting at measure 14. Wo di wo yi li le da. Wokurashi samagali wo tagleya zelsida wodi wo lile wo. So that's where choir 2 ends, right? So choir 2 has started at 14. Choir 2 ends at 29, the first beat of 29. And choir 1 comes back in. Choir 1 middle voice does the yi, and then it's wo di wo yi li le da la le. So that KH with no vowel it'll be a schwa. So la le yi ra le di wo li shed sa gush ya wo di wo li le wo. So the ending at the very end, that's how each choir ends their verse, right? So the music is quite repetitive. So let's just look at 13, 14. So what happens
Good
is,
question. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not really clear what line I'm going to be singing.
Okay.
I'm going to be singing first tenor, but looks like there are 5 lines here. So the 2 tenor bars I'm just confused about since they split. So let's just looking at 13, at 13, we have, I'm not clear of those 4 notes that I'm seeing on tenor. I'm not clear what I'm going to be singing there.
Okay.
Steve, you might consider marking the top bar tenor 1 and the second bar tenor 2. So since they're both marked tenor.
I'm going to fix it all. I didn't understand the two choirs from Ray, and also it'll all become clear.
It will. So let me just what happens if you're singing the top voice, which is great. Thank you.
Well, you'll want to wait till you hear me before you thank me. But
so it's, can you give me an E again, Steve? So I'll just sing through again the top voice. So it's Yisagwami. Rilwaya Shila no wo lile wo. And then if you're singing the first choir, then you are done until the third verse. So is that clear? So the other notes aren't for you in 14. The only thing you sing in 14 is that first B natural.
So
Okay,
there are two 3-voice choirs.
correct.
So one sings up to the downbeat of 14. Another overlaps and comes in on the upbeat to 14, sings to the downbeat of 29. The first one returns from the upbeat to 29 and sings to the end. And my only question for Ray is, does choir 2 rejoin for the end of the piece or not necessarily?
Yeah, not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
we may decide to do that.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, just
if you guys would like, I can play the 3 parts from measure 3 or from measure 1 to the downbeat of 14. Then I can start choir 2, play to the downbeat of 29. Then I can start choir 1 again from the upbeat of 29 to the end. You'll see 14 to 29 is a little bit new, and then 29 to the end is the same.
right.
And you'll see things come back. If I had known better, I could have notated it clearer, and I will in final version 2.0 soon. So you'll see. So I'm sorry, Thomas. What I'll do with the stems, I'll fix it all. So there's only one tenor 1 part and one tenor 2 part and one Bonnie part, but you don't sing it all the time. You will have designated singers for choir 1 and choir 2.
Okay.
So it does seem like there are 6 parts, but there's really only 3 parts, and not everybody sings all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to, Ray, shall we do it? I know the piano doesn't have the intonation or the quality,
Yeah.
but it might. People are good at digging these 3 parts out, I think. So I can do it, and then we'll go back and you can coach as you want. Would that be useful, or you want to do it without the piano some more?
Yeah.
It's up to you. Wie Sie wollen.
Okay, so let's just, can I just, are people clear on what they sing? If they're singing, if you're singing from the beginning, you just sing to the B natural on the first beat of 14, right? So that's what choir 1 will sing. And then we can, we can just decide now. Yeah, you can just decide, yes, I'd like to be choir 1 or choir 2. If anybody wants to be choir 2, I will just, right now, I'll do what happens with choir 2.
Let me suggest, if you can, learn both choir parts. That will give us more flexibility on tour.
Well, yeah, for sure. Everybody should learn the whole thing. It's just a matter of, what happens at the turnaround point. Because the music from 14, as Steve just said, the music from 14 to 29 is the same as the music from 29 to the end. Right? So everybody is going to sing that at some point. It's just that verse 1 is a little bit different.
Right.
But everybody should learn both. You'll feel that they're quite related. Really, what all it is where you see 18 is really similar to 3, right? So verse 1 is just like verse 2, except it only starts at 18 because it's Yis Gua Mi. I think if you look at the notes, you'll see that that's really the same. Maybe let's just sing from 13 on, and
Fiona has a question.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Yep, it's all right. I just wanted one other pronunciation question. That first line, Yi,
Yeah.
Swa, Mi, Di, and can you pronounce the next 2 words? want to make sure I get the vowels right.
Da bi wo.
Da bi wo. Okay, great. Thanks.
Iswa mi di da bi wo.
Thank you.
So let me just try and clarify what happens in 13. So I'll sing the middle voice. So that was a D and an A. Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was a G and a C natural. $13?
13, yes, sorry, okay. Right. So li le oh, that's what choir one's gonna sing, right? So li le, and then what I'll do the the second choir lead in. So li le yi di wo di da wo kurashi samga ni wo tagle zensi da wo di wo di le oh. So right where I just stopped, it'll go, the choir one lead in will come in again. So go li yi wo again. So I think it'll be fairly clear. Can we maybe what I'll do is I'll play a recording. This is from a lesson that we had. Learning this song, this version of this song, and you won't hear choir one and choir two because this is just a trio singing it, but you'll hear sort of how it fits together. Can I do that, Louis? Louis?
We should be, well, let me double check, but I think I should have shared sound set. Let me confirm. Yeah, you should be good.
Ray, your sound was really breaking up for me. I don't know if that's my bandwidth over here or not.
No, that's his noise cancellation.
Just too close, maybe.
Okay.
Now let's see.
I'm going to stop sharing so it doesn't. So now, why don't you share and see if you're good?
All right, let me see. But sorry, I guess I should have practiced this before. I don't see where to share.
If you want to stay on afterwards,
okay.
Ray, we can debug these issues.
Let me walk through it at the piano. It'll just take a minute and a half, and it won't do any harm.
Right.
Yeah.
So if people mute, so the soloist will sing a little bit freely, and the soloist would carry over, and the choir one would come in. The Bonnie middle voice comes in with the soloist, and there's that cluster that we're used to. Here's Woe Dee Woe. Whoa, please mute. Everybody please mute. So that's the end of choir 1. Then the upbeat to 14, the middle voice comes in. Sorry. Measure 22. Zelsi. Next page. Finishing on, oh, that's the end of choir 2. And over that, choir 1 returns with the middle voice, ye. And Ray, I noticed it sounded like you sang whoa instead of oh on the very last measure. You want to unmute and clarify? You got to unmute, Ray.
It's lila o.
Okay.
But, you know, if you're singing it, it's pretty hard not to end up going lila o.
Okay.
Right. So, yeah, so it's not lila wo, but it's lila o. So,
Glenn raised his hand.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Glenn.
Yeah, perhaps I'm the only one without the music in front of him. Lewis, if you could share the score, maybe. Yes.
Yeah, I stopped because I was because there was people were doing other stuff. Just actually time out here. We're going to have to defer Hoy Nazanim to next session. We're going to need time to work on that, and also High Barbary. So let's wrap up here, and I think that will be all we can do for today. Okay. All right. So let me share.
Yep.
What I can do for Leela is, I think rather than a MIDI synthesized, rather than a version of the score computerized, I think I'll just play at the piano. I'll play through the lines like I just did. You know, I'll play it with all 3 parts, but I'll also play the individual Vibhani and the individual tenor lines, explaining the 2 choirs. It's a short piece. So that'll be my audio study files for this piece.
Well, so Steve,
or maybe Ray, unless you want to prepare something.
Well, there is a recording
of the individual parts, or
a lot of individual parts.
Oh, okay. All right, good.
It's a recording of a trio singing this. So you'll hear all the notes. The only thing that won't be clear is the 2 choirs.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I was going to try and play. But so it's there in the study materials. It's the second file. It says from a recording of a lesson.
Is that in the Google Drive? I'm sorry.
It is in the
Yeah.
Google Drive, yeah. So in the Google Drive, there's the repertoire, and then there are two folders, one of which is the charts, and the other of which is study materials. And so in the study materials file, there's a folder for each song, and including Lile. And for Lile, there are two files in that folder. And the second of them is labeled lesson with Islam, I think. And that is a trio singing this version. The only problem is that in 14, he sort of stops us a little bit, but I think you'll see how it goes. And the reason that I want to use that recording is because that recording is this version. So there are lots of versions of Lile, or they're this version, but lots of variants. And so we're learning a particular variant from a particular village, and so that lesson recording is of the person who taught us this version. So it'll be, the notes should be what's here in this chart. I apologize for not at all making it clear what happens with the two choirs, but actually, once you're together, it's actually quite simple. It's just very hard to notate it in a way that's not confusing. So sorry, Steve, were you going to go ahead and play it through once more?
I can. I mean, we have time. It doesn't take long. If it'll help. Who was it? John Mark, who didn't have the score up, or Glenn? Yeah, Glenn. Sure. Happy to do it if it helps.
Well, we have a couple of questions pending, but let me just.
Okay. Actually,
let me jump the queue and ask a question. Measure 13, the second tenor part. It's notated as a B flat.
Yes.
But Ray, I hear you singing that sharper than that. Am I mistaken?
Okay. Yes. All right. Now that's a very good point. Is that in general, there are a couple of things here. So we're writing sharps and flats, and of course the Georgian tuning is not these exact notes. So generally, if you see a flat in this score, the note is actually a little bit higher than a B flat, but it's not a B natural. All right.
Thank you.
Unless it's written as a B natural. And then similarly, actually, if you look at 13, 14, 15, and 16, in the middle voice, you see there's a C sharp, and it's not really clear that's really a C sharp. It's lower than a C sharp. And you'll see that in the next measure, I've notated it as a C natural. There's a pretty good chance that those two are really the same note. And it just sounds a little more sharp in one place. It sounds a little more natural in another place. So it really is kind of in between a C sharp and a C natural. Yeah. So David, you have a question? David Gilman?
Yeah, I was just gonna suggest you say what the song is about.
Well, okay. So we don't really know what. I mean, there aren't that many words. But when I asked Vaho Pilpani, who taught this to us, he said even the Swans don't understand the words. So
it's another hymn to the sun of some sort, right?
Well, again,
so actually, I attended a talk this summer which included the meaning of Lila. It's a vendetta song. Lila's father was killed by some enemy, and Lila went to take revenge and was injured and retreated to his tower, and then he was killed in his tower.
So, well, and I think, you know, it's fair to say that within Georgia, the Svans, you know, they are known to carry on these vendettas. You know, historically, other Georgians, you know, had this attitude toward the Svans, that the Svans were these wild people and you just didn't ever want to cross them.
Wait a minute. I take that back. I got the wrong song.
Okay.
That was Mirangula. I was just
Yeah, okay.
this is a sacred song
Of some kind.
of some kind.
Yeah, okay. That doesn't change the fact that the Swans do have this history of vendettas.
So the fourths and fifths and octaves tend to be tuned the way we think. It's the thirds.
Well, I would say even the fourths, right? So I mean the fourths in the way because they're related to the fifths, but I would say the fifths are fifths as we know them.
Okay.
The fifths are just tuning, and the others are, well, it is just tuning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but the fifths are fifths as we know them. Everything else is a little bit different, and particularly thirds, I think, are difficult for us because they don't feel sharp, or they, you know, we always feel them sharp or flat. Yeah, that's a really good point Fiona makes. So we will do announcements, I think.
We must do announcements because some of the songs we do will not make sense to our audience if we don't explain them.
Although we won't have to explain the Georgian songs in Georgia.
But we will have to explain the American songs in Georgia for sure.
Yeah. There's one other thing I wanted to say is when you listen to that recording, you'll find that the opening voice actually doesn't start on an E, it starts on a D if you check it with a pitch pipe. And what happens is that the song goes sharp throughout, and so by the end, you know the final note is a B natural as written, but it just gradually climbs. So and this is a thing that the Svans do in a lot of their music. They just kind of push it sharper and push it sharper. And the way I would characterize it is the top voices push sharp, and then everybody else tunes up to them. And I think that, you know, if you listen to the recording, you'll hear that, yeah, you know what, you can feel him going sharp, and everybody else kind of tuning to him, because in that recording, the person singing the top voice is the guy who taught the song to us.
Okay, we're past the hour. Any final comments?
Any additional questions?
Sure. So I understand you're going to generate a new version where you'll show what that overlap is between the two choruses.
Yeah.
Explicitly, yes.
I'll do more with the stems. I'll take out the extraneous syllables and try to make it clearer.
And
the fermatas don't really happen.
Well, what they are is really I put those in there just because that measure's not fully in time.
Right.
That's all. Right. So that ye, you know, what happens is when the soloist comes in, he goes ye, and then you move to the next measure when he moves. So everybody sort of senses where he's going. So if he goes ye wadi,
yeah, okay,
right, or he just might go ye wodi. You know, you'll sense from the soloist when he's moving to the next note.
And he's joined on wo di wo by the section.
By the section. Now, again, normally what there would be is there would be one person singing the top, one person singing the middle, and everybody else singing the bottom.
Right.
So, and
I see. Okay.
and we can do that. We can sort of take turns. That's one possibility. We can take turns singing the middle and singing the top, or you know, maybe we'll have two people sing the top, two people sing the middle, and everybody else sing the bottom. And again, you know, if you're a first or second tenor, we can rotate in and out so people get a chance to sing that part. And then we do have choir 1 and choir 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? I have a final question I need to respond to.
Okay.
All right. So we'll pick up next week. The question came up: when will the final when can you print out the scores? And I'll just say again, what you have now is good to go. We will, if we have to update, we will put out a new score that is dated. But the reality, guys, is that as we go through these things in these sessions, we note things that need to be changed. And that I do not see that changing. So if you want to join a group where the music never changes, find another group. But that's where we're at. So today we're going to update, this week we're going to update Bandura and Lile, and they will be ready to post by next week, okay?
Okay, do you want the 90 seconds on this or
you know, go ahead.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, yeah.
That was a lovely rendition.
Well, I didn't get those thirds, low and high, but call my tuner. I need those old keyboards with the split keys to do those old
Exactly.
harpsichords, with the
Right.
microtonal stuff with the E flats and the D sharps. Different.
Right.
Anyway, great. Thank you guys all
Thank
for
you all
turning
for
up,
staying
and it's great that so many of you will be in Washington. We're that's going to be a lot of fun to do some of the Russian and Slavonic repertoire that overlaps with the campus chorus tour, and also to get some of the American rep and the Georgian and the Armenian. Yeah, I booked my flights already. British Air.
Good for you.
Yeah, daytime flight. It's the only way I can do my Sunday and Monday concerts in Boston and still make it to the Georgian banquet and rehearsal in Tbilisi.
So
You are a bogatir, Steve. Thank
I don't know
you.
about that. I'm shrinking.
Well, after looking at Bandura, I think I'm going to have to sing this repertoire at least 3 times a week between now and then.
Oh man.
Any
Yeah.
credit
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get up there.
Yeah, I should see.
Banduru,
I
it
should
was-
see who's got a layover in. Oh shoot! I don't have the Air France layover anymore. Because of my flights now. I was hoping that we could do like an airport lounge rehearsal, but it's not to be. All right,
All right.
Lewis. Thank you as always. Heroic,
you, guys.
heroic work.
Thank you,
All
guys.
right, thank you. All right, Ray, stay on, and we'll see if we can
Yes.
get you straightened out.
Do you need me, Lewis or Ray?
No,
Or,
no.
I'm gonna go do the 10th iteration of Lila. Okay. Goodbye.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, Ray. So you're on a PC, so your experience may be different, but let me go to Zoom on my machine, and it's through the web, so it ought to be pretty similar.
Mhm.
So here I am logged into Zoom, and of course now it's making it hard for me to find my stuff. Let's see, so let me go to my account, and let's see where under settings. Let's see where that takes us. And
So this is not in the session.
no, you need to go make sure that you are Zoom is configured, and you have a Zoom account, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So, and of course it's no, that's not it.
So
So
maybe you want to
all
click in the recording. I think we're still recording.
No. All right. Oh, yeah. Let me stop recording. Oh, stop recording. Stand by. I've got to stop the recording.